The Martha Rosa Association was put in effect to help ones who have um, no insurance. They don't have no nest egg. States that anyone can bring a casket or urn to a funeral home, and the funeral home have to accept it. You do not have to be present when the funeral home, when the casket is delivered. The Federal Trade Commission is runs everything, and they give the governing rules of the funeral businesses. It's like if you go to a funeral home and you ask them for a GPL, which is a general price list, they have to give it to you, no questions asked. Okay, when you go in and sit down and talk with the family, that's the reason why you never see a funeral home rush you straight to the casket room. They're not going to do that. They're going to sit down with you. And these funeral homes here, they're phenomenal. I mean, these Flint area funeral homes are phenomenal. I mean, they will sit down with you. They will talk with you. They will walk you through this. It's never about money. Even though you see them progressing and doing this, they have a pure heart. And this is the reason why I haven't given up on them. This is the reason why, like I said, I'm trying to step my game up. So once we get to this level, oh, we getting ready to take over. But back to the Martha Rosa, we help you. We help the families who don't have the money. You come to me and say, for instance, a casket may cost uh, $2,000 at the funeral home. Okay, the casket that we give you, um, it may cost me $700. So if it costs me $700, there's no way in the world that I'm going to charge you, the general public, $3,000 for that casket. If it costs me $700, I'm going to charge you $950. If it's a wood casket and it costs me 1,200, well then I'm gonna give it to you for 1,500, 1,700. And I know the questions that's going through your mind, man. Why would you waste your time, wasting your time selling caskets on a low price, and you're not trying to, put no tax on it? For the simple reason we do put tax on it though. But the reason why is that you will never get rich on selling one casket. The only way you will get rich on selling one casket, one headstone, is that it's made of pure gold. So my mission.
Are those available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any casket that the funeral homes have, I can get. The reason why I sell my caskets at such a low price, because I was blessed enough to get them from a company that provides them to me, and I'm not at liberty to give them the names because I don't want the funeral homes going. But there are several companies that I deal with that bless me with low price caskets, and I turn right around and I give it to the public. This is why I say funeral homes, we can work together. I know what you're doing. I understand why you're doing it, but every now and then, you know, call up the king of caskets. Just like you call me up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to go do a removal, and I thank you so very much for allowing me to do that, because we are the very first African American to own and operate a afterlife removal service here in the city of Flint. So that is going to go into history. So I can lay down now and know that I have done something that nobody else have done here in the city of Flint. I was a first.
Okay, let's get back to that scenario. A family loses someone,
Hmm.
there's no insurance, and they apply to the Martha Rosa Association?
No, they come down and they sit with us, sit down, and they tell us what they're working with. They let us know what funeral home that they are working with. We do not give you money. We help you with the casket. We help you with the headstone. Repeat, we do not give out any money. We work hand in hand with Flint Caskets. We work hand in hand with Royalty Removal Service, which is our mother company. So what we do is that we will buy the caskets, and and we will give them to you at a very low price, to where you can still have a glorious home going for your loved one. The funeral home is not really going to lose any money because they have other ways of recouping that money during the service. So, you know, I just don't never want to come off as we are ever attacking. So that's the reason why I just don't want to go too far into that. But we are here to help anybody that needs help. You can call us 810-853-3076. You can email us flintcasketsandmemorials at gmail.com. Our Facebook page, we gave it to you earlier. We're here to help you. Our Martha Rosa Association is Martha Rosa Association at gmail.com. We are here for anything that you need. You can hit us at Flint Caskets. But if you have ever suffered a need and you are at the funeral home right now, this, let the funeral home know that you don't really have the funds right now, and that you have another way of getting the casket. The casket will be received by the funeral home. The funeral home is not going to start disrespecting you. The funeral home, I repeat, the funeral homes here in Flint, Michigan, and all around that I have dealt with are very professional. And in this business, you have to have tough skin. You're going to get some, you're going to lose some. I'm just like a funeral home and another funeral home here that may lose a body to another funeral home. You're not losing, you're gaining. So I'm just helping you save money, so after the funeral is over with, you can still work hand in hand. And I just want the funeral homes to understand I'm never trying to take anything from you. When we first started, I came to you, you explained to me why you didn't want to, why you couldn't afford to buy my caskets right then. At that particular time, the average person would have shut down and went on. I've never been a quitter. And let me say this, I'm not ashamed of my past. Everybody has a past. 1999, I went to prison. I came home in 2007. When I came home in 2007, how I got back in the funeral business is I went straight to Graceline Cemetery, and I went to prison for unarmed robbery. So unarmed, I don't deal with guns. But let me tell you this. So that's I'm not gonna go any farther on that. But when I came home, when I was in prison, what I did is that I stayed in the law library. I studied different religions. I became a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America because I wanted to find out what they was about. They're Moorish Americans, the Moors. Okay. But I was home. I was raised in the Church of God. I studied the Moorish Science Temple of America. And if you study your background, you will see that we all striving for the same thing. So I'm just going to leave that there. When I came home, I went to Graceline Cemetery and I told them that I just came from prison. I worked at a lot of funeral homes here, and I need a job. And they said, so my cousin, her name was Jaleisha, she was the manager of Graceline. And she told me to come on up there. And she told me, she said, you better come and don't be playing. Come on up here and I'm going to stand with you. I came up there and the manager just happened to be there. When Alicia called and told me she was there, and I went up there and I told him, she said, well, you know what, after the interview, she said, you know what, if you crazy enough to come in here and tell me that you just came from prison and told me why you came from prison and you got people here standing for you, we crazy enough to hire you. I started the next following week. That's when Graceline took a turn for the best. We was in there popping, me and Jaleisha, and it was another lady, I forget her name, but we was an all-black cemetery. We was bringing them in. A year later, cemetery that Graceline, that digs a hole for Graceline, called me one day at the job at Graceline. They said, look, you call us every day and you bringing in services. Since you've been here, I see that Graceline has picked up. We have a cemetery that's called Lovedale Memorial Cemetery. We need somebody to come out here and run this place because if you can bring Graceland back, we need you out there. So I said, well, I sat back. Then, like any person, I ain't gonna say brother, like any person, them dollar star signs start ringing in my head. But then I thought about it. I said, now I know they ain't gonna tear me off too much because they ain't really had no services out there. So I said, I'm gonna go out here and show you what I can do. I went out there. Within the first 6 months, they went from 25 services. No, I take it back. Within the first 6 months, they went from 10 services a month to 20 services a month, burials. Then within the first year, we had took that up to what 25 to 30, maybe 35 services going on within a 3 month span time. I started implementing things out there. The cemetery stood behind me. That's when Royalty Memorials came to me. I was sitting in the office one day, and it was I was just there by myself, and I got to thinking. I'm walking around the cemetery, walking around the office. I said, these people making too much money. They making too much money out here, and they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing out here. And I've met a lot of people out here. I met one lady out there, and she runs a funeral home and in the Detroit area. And she told me, she said, you know what? You need to get out and do your own thing. I said, well, actually she was in Flint, and then she moved, and she said, you need to get out and do your own thing. They holding you down. And that's all I needed to hear. Then I heard it from another person. 3 times I'm here, I'm out.
Here inside the Jazz Jacuzzi at 92.1, pushing the positive and people who make a difference. My guest today, Mr. Jonathan Ernest of the Flint Casket and Memorial Company. A compelling story. A story that may prompt you to seek your place.
Okay. So what I did is that I went to the only thing I know to do, I went to praying. I said, Lord, if it's your will for me to find a business in this business, please let me know. The name came to me, Royalty. I've always loved the color purple. I love that color. So it came to me, Royalty. And I thought about it. I talked to my wife. Love you, Tan. I talked to my wife, and she said, you need to do your own thing. So it was right during tax season. I will always remember it was 2010. Oh, she was heated. But I took all the tax money that I had made, and I went out and I got a van. I went out, I got a stretcher. The first stretcher I got, it didn't work properly. I called a company. They said, well, do what you can with it, and we'll send you another one. So now I got 2 of them. I found out how to fix it, so I got 2 of them. So I put my 2-week notice in. I left Lovedale. I just stepped out on faith. I went to my pastor, LaQuinn Williams. He sat down with me. He counseled me, and he told me, go handle your business. So I went out and I did what I had to do. My business started going up. The first funeral home, they called me, they called me and they said, now, everybody else don't want me to call you, but I'm going to call you. I'm going to help you. Don't let me down. I said, okay. I did one removal, 2012, I believe it was. And that one removal turned into 470 some odd removals. This person, I don't mind saying, Sheldon T. Banks. He stepped in, he helped me, he was there for me. Sheldon T. Banks is the only funeral home that has told me that, man, look, man, I can go and get these caskets through this other company, man, but, okay, man, here, man.
Well,
And he bought one from
well, Mr. Ernest, give us your contact information again. Flint Caskets and Memorials. how can we contact you for your casket memorial business, and also, again, information for the Martha Rosa Association?
Okay, sir. Again, we are Flint Caskets and Memorials. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. I don't know all the names, but you can pull up Flint Caskets or Royalty Memorials. I will put a link up on my Facebook page this evening. The Martha Rose Association, you can contact us at area code 810-853-3076. We're available 24 hours a day. Never be afraid to ask for help. We are here for you. For caskets, for headstones, you may call the same number, Flint Caskets and Memorials. We're here for you. For everyone that has helped us, for every funeral home that has helped us, we thank you. For all the community that has been behind us, that has worked with us, we thank you. For Dr. Lee Bell, we thank you from the bottom of our heart, because it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you. We thank you again to Dr. Heron for your help. Everybody who has been in our way. To my beautiful wife, Tangia Ernest, my parents, I love you so much, my family. I'm here for you. Your grief is mine. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Jazz Jacuzzi, the portion we call People Who Make a Difference and Pushing the Positive. Remember, Flint Caskets and Memorials, Mr. Jonathan Ernest,